Today I'm going to share with you the first chapter of this book, which is Knowing Your Numbers. I hope you read the book or in the progress of reading it. And today I'm going to share with you why it is important to read your numbers. Typically, the first indicators of not knowing your numbers is a lack of profitability, the questions such as where's the money, or perhaps a problem with cash flow. My name is Andreas Becker and I work with builders and trades just like you, and I help them to increase their business in many areas, but one of the ones that comes up very often is profitability and cash flow. Now, I want to tell you a little bit of a story about driving a car. Imagine you've got this car and it hasn't got a dashboard, and all you have is a steering wheel and the windscreen, and you're driving along. There could be so many things that that could go wrong. You could be driving along quite happily and all of a sudden something goes wrong and you have no idea what it could be. There could be things such as not knowing how fast you're going and you might get a speeding fine. You could be things such as not knowing how far you've gone, which means you might not really know how far you still got to go. There might be things such as no fuel in the tank. There might be alarm indicators that there aren't any, and the car might be overheating. And exactly the same type of thing can happen in your business. So knowing your numbers is best done through some kind of a dashboard. And we call it simply a dashboard for business. Now, a dashboard would typically be it's done on a spreadsheet. Perhaps that's a good simple way of doing it. And what you would have is basically columns for each month. And you want to definitely track that. You want to have on one page at least 12 months. And then there are 10 different things that you typically measure. If you measure too many, it becomes too complicated and it's very difficult for you to interpret quickly what is going on in your business. Just like in a car, you want to have about 10 different things that you need to know and see. Because imagine you know every single thing that is happening in your car. It's just overwhelming. And just like that in the business, so there would be 10 different things. Now, the rule, the golden rule is like this. What you can't measure, you can't improve. But on the inverse of that, of course, as well, if you want to improve something, all you need to do is measure it. And that's exactly what a dashboard does. So a dashboard gets done monthly, and you typically do it in the beginning of the month for the previous month. Ideally, you have things that happened in the past, and then you have things in the present moment, and you know something about the future. So in the past are typically things that tell you how well the business has been going, and you can get that from a profit and loss. So that would be things such as invoiced for the month. It would be things such as perhaps a gross profit for the month and the net profit for the month, and maybe a couple of percentages. But keep it simple. Those three things I would recommend sort of in the past. You also want to know cash in, all the money that has come into the business and all the money that has gone out. You'll see there's quite a difference between what you invoice and the actual cash in and cash out. And if you see anything strange there, you can ask better questions. You can go into your accounts and basically search why the results are so different to what you're expecting. You also want to measure something else. You want to measure how much money is in your wealth account. We're going to cover that in another chapter, but that's actually something really important. That's the reason why you're in business, to create wealth. And that's something that you should measure. So this is like your fuel tank in your car. Then you want to, and these figures typically come out of your thing like Zero or MYOB or whatever, and it's very easy to get. They also have something called a dashboard, but that's not what we're talking about here, because that's a snapshot at that one time. You want to see a trend. It's really important that you see a trend over a period of, say, 12 months, because you can then just follow the trend and see if things look strange all of a sudden. Those are indicators. Those are the things that you need to look at. You also want to look into the future. So the future are typically things sort of near future, a little bit further and further out. So what you need to measure are things such as the quotes that you have prepared, how many quotes you've actually prepared and how many have been accepted. You want to see how much work is in progress. So that's a very near future. So this is work that you're currently working on, not yet completed. Then you want to know all the quotes that have been accepted, but you haven't even started that yet. So that's a little bit further out. Very handy to know. And you can typically see by the amount of the number that comes up, how much work is in the pipeline, can tell you how many months of work you've got ahead of you. And then you also want to see how many quotes are out there that have not been accepted. And often I can see there's often opportunity then to focus on something like that, because if you can see there are many quotes out there that haven't been accepted, then the focus should be following up those quotes and getting those quotes accepted. And often you can do something about that, and you can see if if you only got, say, a month or two ahead of you, that's not that good. You need to have maybe 6 months ahead of you. And to change that, you can just look at the quotes and see if you can get them accepted. If there aren't enough quotes, then maybe you need to focus on sales. Basically, the direction of your business can be determined by your dashboard. It can tell you exactly where you should be focusing on, and I encourage you to do that. Now, the offer from me today is that you basically book a session with me. It's a 30-minute session. We do that over the phone. I'll show you exactly how you can apply this strategy in your business and give you, ask you a few questions and then give you some ideas how you could apply that. So please take that up. Give me a call. There's a link underneath here where you can basically book a time with me online, and we'll get together and have a bit of a chat and see how that can help you. Thanks for watching, and you'll be getting another video in about a month's time on chapter number 2. So thanks for watching, and talk to you again soon. Bye.